shall escape in the judgment. Lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire. Thy will be done on earth. So black people, what are you doing on earth? Sharpen our sword from the evil that prey on us. Sharpen our sword from the evil that prey on us. Sharpen our sword from the evil that prey on us. Oh, sharpen our sword. In our the wise one should have known. Babylon is destined to fall. Free man and woman, the wise one should have known.
Greetings, one and all. Greetings, one and all. Boy, fat finger somewhere, man. Welcome, grand risings to every one of us here on the galaxyfowe.net. What a beautiful day, rising. Wow, are we ready for today? Are we really ready for today? I asked you, are you ready for today?
Hey, oh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. I'm taking my own freedom, putting it in my song, singing loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be hot stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, can't take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm strong.
Dedicated to all those who came out yesterday, right here.
One day is about
Came out
showcasing
yesterday
our work that
on the
happens the other
Reparations Day,
364 days.
Emancipation
Hey!
Day.
Hello, my brothers and sisters.
Leave nothing, no single stone unturned in our quest for restorative justice.
This is a test that we are passing to know that we can hear and we can vibes with one another. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality.
Education is preparation for reparations.
We are really serving and protecting the community. So we're trying to make sure we resolve this issue from a place of compassion at all times, which is in the best interest of the community.
Before we can repair anyone else, we have to repair ourselves first.
Today, I really want to thank everyone and commend everyone who has participated in groundings with our people around the change, the reparatory justice change that we need to be in order that we can see it.
What I wanted to talk about is Ubuntu Dunya and how Sudan plays a key central part in the idea of us realizing that dream. Even now, while I was in Sudan most recently in February, the US was sending delegates to negotiate with known war criminals.
This part of the program is about intergenerational repairs, which means that our reparations needs to be passed on, and that there is a younger generation here in this crowd. There are parents here in this crowd. Where is the Pan-Africanism? Where is the reparations? And reminding ourselves that today is a Pan-African reparations rebellion, which means we take this space in order to build the critical consciousness that is missing from our movement. And we find out in grounding spaces how we mean to move forward.
Motto Ubuntu built in Ubuntu Dunya. Also, if you see older people, if you see any young people and they're not really bothered, they're not really caring about what's going on, just grab them by the earlobe and drag them right to the front. It's time for them to listen.
Was he there? Was he there? Ah, there's so many. Beautiful to see and beautiful to meet and greet and to connect our brothers and sisters. Wow. We are an extremely powerful people when we come together. And there are many elements of this. So we're gonna cover some of that this morning here as we do our risings in appreciation. Rises in appreciation, you know. Boy, let me just set my pace here. Because you know you can get run away with the emotions of the day and the events of what was, you know. Even if we do get carried away with the events of what was, it does not mean to say that we're taking anything away from the importance of the day. What a beautiful time that we had. Right? Even though, you know, the timing of everything was a bit out and about, but still, you know. So let's start off first of all with giving our blessings to whoever. Let's balance ourselves right here, right now. Remind us of our destiny and our direction. 42 Lords of Ma'at.
The 42 Laws of Ma'at. And so the Africans of ancient Egypt were established within the area of northeastern Africa by 3100 BC. This great and powerful African empire lasted over 3,000 years. The Africans of ancient Egypt were well versed in the areas of science, mathematics, warfare, trade, and medicine. However, they also had an extremely detailed religious and spiritual belief system. Now, the Egyptians believed in a concept called Ma'at. Ma'at was understood to be the notion of balance and divine order in the universe. The name Ma'at is generally translated into English as that which is straight. Ma'at also refers to truth, justice, and harmony. These Africans believed in the continuation of life after death in the spiritual realm. After physical death, they believed a human soul would be tested and a process of judgment would take place. In the Egyptian belief system, the heart was part of the soul, and thus the heart would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at. If the Egyptian heart was lighter or the same weight as the feather, then this indicated that he or she had led a good life and therefore they would be rewarded. If the heart was heavier than the feather, this indicated that the human had led an evil life, and so severe punishment was soon to come. While this process of judgment is taking place, the soul is surrounded by the 42 assessors of Ma'at. The 42 assessors of Ma'at were spiritual beings which were charged with the role of judging the human soul. The human soul must complete the declaration that they have not broken any of the 42 laws of Ma'at. The 42 laws of Ma'at are also known as the 42 divine principles of Ma'at, or the 42 declarations of innocence. These are some of the world's oldest moral codes for human conduct. In this sense, they are similar to the Ten Commandments, which the Jewish religious tradition and the Christian religious tradition adhere to. The 42 laws of Ma'at, which the human soul must state, are as follows. 1. I have not committed sin. 2. I have not committed robbery with violence. 3. I have not stolen. 4. I have not slain men and women. 5. I have not stolen grain. 6. I have not purloined offerings. 7. I have not stolen property of the gods. 8. I have not uttered lies. 9. I have not carried away food. 10. I have not uttered curses. 11. I have not committed adultery. 12. I have made none to weep. 13. I have not eaten the heart, which means I have not grieved for no good reason. 14. I have not attacked any man. 15. I am not a man of deceit. 16. I have not stolen cultivated land. 17. I have not been an eavesdropper. 18. I have slandered no man. 19. I have not been angry without just cause. 20. I have not debauched the wife of any man. 21. I have not debauched the wife of any man. This is a repeat of the previous affirmation, but addressed to a different spirit being. 22. I have not polluted myself. 23. I have terrorized none. 24. I have not transgressed the law. 25. I have not been wroth. 26. I have not shut my ears to the words of truth. 27. I have not blasphemed. 28. I am not a man of violence. 29. I am not a stirrer up of strife or a disturber of the peace. 30. I have not acted or judged with undue haste. 31. I have not pried into matters. 32. I have not multiplied my words in speaking. 33. I have wronged none. I have done no evil. 34. I have not worked witchcraft against the king. 35. I have never stopped the flow of water. 36. I have never raised my voice, spoken arrogantly or in anger. 37. I have not cursed or blasphemed God. 38. I have not acted with evil rage. 39. I have not stolen the bread of God. 40. I have not carried away the kinfu cakes from the spirits of the dead. 41. I have not snatched away the bread of the child, nor treated with contempt the God of my city. 42. I have not slain the cattle belonging to God. Now, failure to pass the judgment would condemn the human soul to remain in the duat, which is the underworld.
Just a check-in, just to check in, just to check in, to just remind you of your purpose, to remind you of the foundation, to remind you of the values of what we live by and how we live by, to remind you of some of the faculties, the behavioral patterns of what we try to emulate to be our best, to do your best, to be within the realms of your perfection. We are moving in that direction always, always, always. I call upon those who have been before, those who are present, and those who are to come, to bring yourselves to this realm and to this forum, so that we can impart the unification in the one word that we could say, Ubuntu. I am because you are, because if you are, then I am. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. It is done. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand risings to everyone who's in the listening right here on the galaxyofhawaii.net. Wow, what a beautiful day we had yesterday at the grounding. The grounding. It seems to change its theme every now and then, doesn't it? And it's impetus, points of interest, points of importance. And although I personally wasn't able to spend the complete day with everyone, we were there and we was there in conversation, and for many, for those who were in attendance, and that I interacted with, it was great to see and hear their enthusiasm and concerns as well. And concerns. And I'm not going to speak into the negativity of some, but it was so inspiring to see those who had voiced their opinions of the reparations on the previous times and years, that there was a few who was in attendance who actually were there. And for whatever reason they were there, I'm just glad to just see that they were there. Even if it's just to report on the feel of what was happening, and that was the main thing for me down there. That we was there, and we're saying that this thing has to move forward. We have to move forward, and how we're going to take it forward. And in the thinking of that, because obviously leading up to that, we're all in the momentum and the thinking of the momentum, whether we're for or against, or we agree, but we know that something must be done. Something must be done, right? I think that's the commonality of what I'm going to take away from what I was gathering yesterday. Brothers and sisters, right? Putting aside the differences is a must. Putting aside your different angles of approach is a must. We need to have that voice of unification. We need to have that voice of oneness. We need to have that direction of forwardness. Right? We need to. And even as we were in the procession, there was commentaries and guidance of the words of power and inspiration that were spoken to us. If you were in the listening of those words of power and inspiration, I'm sure that you would have had your words of power and inspiration as well. And and one of the things is what I gathered on there, that the system is extremely aware of our presence. And I say that with a smile on my face right here, right now, here in the Galaxy studio. I say it with a smile on my face. And the reason why I say it with a smile on my face is because I'm glad that they see us. I'm glad that they hear us. And I'm glad that they are taking action to prevent us. I know it sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But hear me out. Hear me out. The fact is that the truth will always come through. The truth will always be suppressed. Their truth is such an abominable words that it hurts them to the core, so that when we speak of their truths as being the descendants and the recipients of their actions over the years, of their mindset of our genocidal behavior towards us, we are heard and felt a lot harder. Yes, they are afraid. They're afraid of us. And rightly so. This is why they want to eliminate us from their system. They want to keep us quiet in our own way. They want to keep us quiet. And why do they want to keep us quiet? It's because the truth will cut them to their heart. There's no recovery from that. Grand Risings caller, Grand Risings.
Good morning, sir. I didn't know you was live. I tuned kind of short, but I just want to ask you a question here.
Yes, you can.
There's a certain individual that's going to be present on LBC right now coming up. If you could put a question to me, what question would you ask him, Mr.
I'm not aware of the person who it is.
It's a prime minister.
Oh, the prime minister.
Yeah, so he's going to be live on LBC, and they said that you can put questions to it. Because I was thinking about reparations, but I was thinking like, what kind of question? How would I put it?
I see. In the way of reparations, right? For a fact, I know that he's already stated in a blunt statement, there will be no reparations payment.
Wow.
He has no interest in that in any way whatsoever. So hold on. So I would strategically approach that and say the education of the future generation, right, that is supporting his system, his government, right, is beyond many. What are you doing to actually ensure that we have a fair education system right across the nation.
The board, yeah. Good point.
You understand? You have to come at them strategically, right?
So the thing is, I think as a community, we're not really prepared for certain things because questions like that should already been set. Should already be set.
Oh yeah.
And, when these occasions come, we can pounce.
Yeah. We should be bombarding those forums as they show their head. We show our weapons. We show our bullets. Yeah. Right.
Also, I want to talk about yesterday just briefly. I'm talking funny because I lost a tooth, man. The tooth just dropped out, man. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? The old age just creeping up on me. I said, what happened there, right?
I didn't want to say it that way, but yeah.
You understand? You can't hide it no more, man.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I saw some people like same way. I see some people with grey hairs. I see a young lady, Ethiopian lady. I think she's Ethiopian. Maybe she was just from the Caribbean, but she looked Ethiopian. She was in a wheelchair.
That's right.
You know, and we've come back to Brixton town. It's like she was at the front of the crowd.
That's right.
You know,
right.
I saw another brother in a wheelchair again. You know, I see a woman with a walking stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see old men. I see children. There's like some children with like Quaker and the other lady. Those at the front of the crowd as well.
Yeah, I saw families there, man. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful to see.
Yeah, and you know, another thing is like when we started off here, because it's kind of dark and gloomy. When we started off, the sun just pop out. Yeah, and as we got back to Brixton, by the time we get back to Brixton, it started to rain. You know, so throughout the whole journey, the sun was just beaming. It was just beaming. It's just like it's the weather just said, "No, I'm not going to rain on you right now." You know what I mean? It's raining in the past as we be walking.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say something about that, right? We you know something, we are not aware of the power that we actually have. Do you remember the scene from Countryman, right? When he rescued those people from the boat, and then he was feeding them, and then he was giving them some philosophical teachings of the power of the Rasta.
No, I'm gonna have to go and watch that again. I haven't watched that for about 20, 30 years, man.
Right. There's a scene. Let me remind you of it. There's a scene there, right, when he was giving some philosophical talking, and then he was talking about the different foods and like how he survives, right? Because they said, "But you don't have nothing. How do you survive out here?" Because they're obviously materialistic. And then he said, "You know, something Jah will provide." Yeah. And he says, "What, you don't feel so that you can pull down thunder from the sky when you call upon it?" And then he went into a meditative trance, right? And then it's like this the thunder come from the sky, you know? And then he just laughed, yeah. And he said, "We have the power to do that. That is us, yeah." So like even in that, even as we move together as one, and we're all in that unification, right? We can cause changes in the hemisphere. You understand? So when you see that the sun come down upon we and all them, yes.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It come out bright.
Yeah.
Come out bright, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, as soon as we get back to Brixton, within about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it start to rain. It's very, just like it's just little simple things can be like a sign. And people say, "Oh, John, it's you know what I mean," but you never know. It could be like a little sign, just like the weather just keep up.
Listen, I'm very attuned to those type of things there. You know, because
and they don't want us to be like that.
We want
to be very materialistic and you know, and away from nature.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And as you see right now, the rebellious one that rejected nature is now saying, "Oh, the environment is now burning up." the environment is being destroyed. Like how can we save it? You see, he didn't want to listen. He thought his rebellious science can adjust the planet, the universe, but it can't. It can't, and he's realizing now that in actual fact, we need resources to fly away, to escape from this planet, and taking those resources is now destroying this planet that we're on.
Well, that is just the thing now. You see, because like even for them to make an effective repair, they cannot. The earth will balance its own self out. If you're part of it, if you're part of the balancing, then you'll be part of it. If you're not, then so be it. Right? But the earth has its own rejuvenative powers. Yeah. And the fact that they're trying to put it into the financial pockets of everybody else.
Yes, man.
Right?
Yes.
Is totally wrong. And it's not only wrong, but it's unethical. And we see that, we can see that, right? But obviously the majority of people are so dumbed down that they turn the television on first thing in the morning, and they're bombarded by all of this negativity of woe is the world, and the world is coming to the end in its own way. And then all of a sudden, they're not even looking in appreciation of what the world is actually giving to them, even though they are poisoning and taking away its main life source, right? So obviously, the world is trying to heal in its own way, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is with nature, it's like the way I see it. If you don't respect nature, to try and help repair it, it'll just wipe you out. It'll take you out, man. It's like it's a source that if it's not respected, it will just budge you aside, regardless of who you are and your history and nature. It'll just take you out.
Exactly.
You know, so and you said it just before you put me on here. You was talking about the truth, and like that's how you deal with some people. You know, you don't even have to kick and fuss and thump. Just drop the truth on them. I'm not coming on the radio like I'm some saint or some righteous person. I'm far from being righteous here, far from it. But when you bust the truth on someone, it's like, what more? It's even the wickedest man on this planet. Exactly. When you drop the truth on them, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. So it might act as if it does, like the Englishman as a quote of like, keep a stiff upper lip. He might keep his lip might be stiff. Yeah. But when you walk away from you, say, boy, that man has taught the truth, you know. That man, because every man's got a conscience. No matter how cold you are, you've got a conscience. And this is the thing, because like, you know, we obviously we're using the mediums, unfortunately, which are controlled by the system that doesn't want our message to go out there, right? And so obviously, when we all of a sudden there's 1,000 of us broadcasting and putting out this message, right? They're going to say, oh, what's all this going on here, right? And all they will do is just block it, block, right across the board. When you say block here, look, I'm not saying that it's because of us, but throughout the history of England, I've never heard them block protests. No. I've never heard them come up with a law that's blocking protests, and I'm saying, like, hold on, where does this come from? Hold on.
One of the things what they had recently done, I don't know if you know of it, right? You know, when we raise our fist in triumph, right? We raise our fist in triumph. You know that they've outlawed that now. You can get arrested for doing that.
What are you telling me?
Yes. You can get arrested. You can get arrested for raising your fist in triumph.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah. The police can arrest you for that.
What about when you put up your arm? Can you get arrested if I put up the Nazi salute?
Well, that's just it, because they mentioned about the fist, but the straight hand and straight arm, I don't think they mentioned that in there.
You see?
Right?
So that's why I say we as black people need to get more serious, you know, because like even in South America, in the southern part of America, like Florida, I can't remember the man's name, but he's a disgusting human being, if you want to call him a human being. He's trying to outlaw the education and discussion in classes in schools of slavery. It's trying to
Florida and all them places there. Yeah.
That's the animal. That's the when you're looking at man, you can see this animal is an animal. To tell the truth, that's even degrading the animal. Because some animals you can, you know what I mean. Some animals you can. They have. I would show them much more respect to that than that. That's like not even a beast. That's like a demon. A demon in the form of a human being. For you to come out with that law. And try to implement that. So, and you see, that's what when you talk about the truth, that's why he wants to hide the truth. Because he doesn't want people's conscience to be hurt.
Well, the thing is that what's happening recently. There are some states in America, and what they've said is that they will include education of the slave episode, right, in their curriculum. Right, they will include that now, right, because they were avoiding it for a very, very long time. Florida, and all that those states there, they were all built on slavery,
and that's the most racist part in it,
right? Right. But the thing is that because of the population that they've got over there, can you imagine you telling your people that, boy, you know what? If it wasn't for slavery, none of you be here. It'd be like Roots episode all over again, right? Because remember when they showed Roots in the UK, boy, listen, white kids were afraid to even go to school.
I looked on the European manager. It's very different. That was a mind blowing thing for me. When I first saw that. They
thought it was going to be a slap in the face if they showed this on TV. Right? They even tried to ban it in some schools to say that you're not allowed to watch it because they seen the effect that he was having on the young people. Because in many ways that was probably the first time that it became tangible of what exactly our people was going through or went through. Right? Fictitious as it may be, but you know, it gave an example of what they actually went through.
Because I think our parents, our grandparents and great grandparents, I think I think they obviously knew, but I think they were protecting us from that madness.
Of course they were. Because
people say, "Oh, they didn't tell us this," but I think in a way, like, you're holding that back because it was so mad. It's just imagine being in prison your whole life, and the prison wardens can do anything to you at any time, and there's no release date. You know what I mean? You're sentenced for life from birth to death.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that even if you actually study it yourself, right? And there are some other materials out there about the slave trade and documentation of it from both slave people who were slaves, those who were slavers, and those who were slave catchers. You've got documentations of all of them, and they have their own interpretations of everything, right? And if you go through some of them, those depictions in those movies and documentaries ain't nothing. Trust me, ain't nothing compared to what actually happens there, right? I mean, the most recent one that I was watching and looking at, right? The percentage of cargo, as they called it, right? A percentage of cargo, right? They always estimated between 20 to 30%, right? Would not survive, right? And then they would get to a certain stage of where they would sail out, and they would discard 10% of the cargo anyway, because they said they wouldn't have enough provisions to actually go the full length of the journey. You understand? So basically, they get that slave, and they say, "Boy, we have too much here," and we just dash them overboard. You understand? So, you know, in that way there, you just think, whoa, and then all of those, that were so-called died, right? Because obviously they can't be having a dead body to bring back for evidence, so they had to throw them overboard. They would throw them overboard anyhow, right? They were compensated for that anyway. Yeah, they were compensated for that. Yeah, they were compensated for that anyway, right?
And plus, we're not even told that. We're not even told that there were Africans that are integrated with the American Indians over there. They were dark. They were also very dark skinned. Many dark skinned.
Of course, but the Indians used to have them as slaves as well.
But remember, there's also pictures here of where there's African tribes greeting the Aztecs. There's pictures.
Yeah.
Of dark skinned Africans.
But hold on. You know, one of the biggest lies that's been going on for hundreds of years, right? And it's only just recently come out, right? Mainly because of it. Maybe I'm going to say because of our ignorance, right? Geographical ignorance. That obviously, you know, when they evidence has always been there that Africans have inhabited the whole of this planet anyway, right? So that means that those people have migrated and set up homes and colonies and cities right around the world, right? The Caribbeans, because that, you know, we associate ourselves quite a bit with the Caribbeans. So all those islands there in the Caribbeans, right? They were regularly visited by the Africans, right? And that was because the distance from Africa, the continent of Africa, to those Caribbean islands is a lot shorter than what the plane ride is that we're subjected to when we want to go to Africa.
Okay.
Right? They've only recently opened the airline directly to the Caribbean, right, from the Africas, right? Nigeria. Yeah. And it takes, I think it takes about 8 hours flight, right? In preference to the European route, right? Which will take you nearly 18 hours. Yeah. So the distance, what is covered is so much less. And remember, that was done, there were sailboats. So certain times of the year, the winds would carry you from the Africas to the Caribbeans. And then the winds would change. And then it will carry you from the Caribbeans to the Africas as well. You see? So you know, we shouldn't sit in ignorance of what was, right? And how we could actually make our own way around this world, around this planet. Right? They're keeping us in ignorance even in that way as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna just switch it for a second here. Just to like I'm gonna mention two people here. And these two people are one is dead for definite. The other one I'm not too sure about. I have a neighbor and I used to talk to him, like I was coming to my yard one day a few weeks ago. I see a whole pile of books, pair of books outside, books, DVDs, CDs, cassette recorders, booklets, pamphlets, the whole, I mean a mountain. Yeah, so I probably about it's about a 5 foot mountain of
wow,
books. No lie. Books, and I said I knew some of them was in boxes, and I was like, wow, like, where this come from? And I don't know why I just said, what if he's my man? Because I know he's an elderly man, and like he was into music and stuff. You know what I mean? I said, what if that's my man? I wonder what happened to him. And then about a week after that, someone said, oh, he had a stroke and he's in hospital. So I don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. But what I'm saying is that sometimes in this world, we have so many things, yeah. And we never know that we collect all these things and like.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
My daughter is waiting for the day that I close my eye.
Are you another holder as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen,
yeah.
I can't. Listen, if there's a book, they know that. If there's a bookstore or something like that, I'm bringing one home.
Well, this is like, but what I was saying, and compare it to another person, yeah. There's there's a woman called Sinead O'Connor.
Yes,
she passed away.
She passed away
recently. I'm sure she's a multimillionaire.
Oh yeah, I would say she's comfortable. I won't say she's a millionaire. She's comfortable.
Okay.
But she turned to she took on the Muslim faith, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And the thing is, but see, what one thing what she did, she used her fame to an advantage to try and like put out a message. So I gotta give her that. But what I'm saying is that we have taken we are, many of us in the community, I call it community, yeah, we have to contribute more because just taking those two individuals, yeah, who have obtained wealth or substances, items, and then we pass away. We're not here forever.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
just prove to you, like, listen, man, whilst we're here, we might as well do something.
Well, one of the things that I'm looking to do this strong here, and I was gonna bring it in on this hour anyhow, right? That we have to take responsibility for our own reparations in some sort, right? So what I'm doing, I'm setting a task for us, right? For instance, I'm going to start off with know thyself, right? Know your personal history, know your family history, yeah? So, get yourself a diary or something that you can document these things, right? And just write down the names of all the family members. Make yourself a family tree, yeah? Because for us to do those type of things, right, it is part of our reparatory process. Some of us don't even know our family, right? Even, and I will tell you this now, even yesterday I observed, right, people, they would, these two people were talking, right? I won't mention their names, but they were talking. And what they said, oh, our family's from the same island. Oh, really? Oh, right. Oh, we're from the same district. Oh, really? Hold on. But this aunt there, and she's a cousin of our, so we're family in that way there. You understand? Now, if you had the family tree there, right, to see the tangibility of how we are interactive and interconnection, right, that would bond us even more, and realizing that spirit of Ubuntu is stronger than what we actually are displaying. You see what I'm saying? Right? So, these are the things that we need to do. We need to do that self-repair, right? And then in doing our self-repair, then we are strengthening ourselves to give unto others.
Can I mention another thing as well? Like,
yes,
I remember, because I think I missed about one of the marches. Yeah.
Wow. Well done. Yeah.
It was raining. Yeah. And raining really hard. I think about 3 years ago, but last year when I went down there, there's a brother on a bench. I ain't gonna mention his name because he might say, "What you mention my name for?" But I ain't seen him for years, and he's sitting on the bench and he had a walking stick. I said, "What happened to you, man? What happened?" He said, "Boy, he had a stroke, and half of his body is like, kind of like almost paralyzed. Can still walk until with a walking stick."
Yeah.
We were chatting. So but I said to myself, to all in there, if this man can come out of his house,
yes,
and come to, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's like coming out of his house could have risked his life. And there's people out there who, big tough men, couldn't come.
Well, no, they chose not to. It's not that they couldn't. Couldn't would mean that they have tried, but something was stopping them. There's a lot of them who choose not to.
Yeah, I agree. That's why when I look at that, when I observe that, I said to myself, you know what? I don't think we should get a wealth of money, financial. I mean, like,
right. The thing is that what we're asking is not just one institution, like the House of Commons or the House of Lords to actually say, okay, then we need to address this. No, we're talking about the world to address their attitude and what they have done for us, to us.
Yes.
Right? We're talking about the world changing. Yeah? We may start the conversation in our area here in the UK, but that does not mean that the rest of the world is going to fall in line. Yeah? Okay? But the fact is that what the task, what the end task is to make the change in the world. Yeah. So basically, every nation in the world has takes this responsibility towards what they have done and how they have been treating and how they are currently treating us.
Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
Right. Right, because like even for what is actually happening even now, right, we're supposed to be such a force that we should be able to go and say, all right, then we're going to send down 20,000 of our people down there, let alone the troops from wherever, whatever island, whatever, and we're going to come and protect our people. You understand? Yeah.
But I think things are changing because I heard certain African presidents talk out and say certain things to other European leaders and say, listen, like it's not going to continue like this. You're going to have to show us respect. And a few days ago, we have got African leaders shaking hands with Putin and saying like, yo, we're going to have to do some type of a negotiation. Putin saying, listen, I'm willing to do business or some kind of partnership.
Yeah, he's looking for allies now.
Yeah, that's right.
He's looking for allies.
You said the right word.
He's looking for allies.
There was a discussion a few weeks ago on this radio station, kind of heated, and people said, "Oh, we don't need allies. We don't." I didn't bother to get myself involved. I just sit back and listen. But that's why I said that. Just remember, this is a chess game. Even though you know your ally might go against you down the road, in the meantime, you need allies.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, you need allies. Even when you see that box in the ring here, the box in the ring isn't fighting alone, you know. He's got his allies, and his allies is his manager, is his trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You're on your own, man.
Of course. All that movie star business, one man come in there and knock out the champion and all that. You think that could ever happen?
You see?
He wouldn't even get into the. He wouldn't. Listen, no matter how much skill and strength you have, if you feel so that you're gonna go and challenge the champion like that, just come up, sir. No, you gotta go through. You gotta go through their what do you call it now? Their rounds and opponents and everything, right?
Go through the trenches.
And then even if you got the ability, right, that does not guarantee that you're gonna get a challenge for the championship.
Okay.
You understand? Right? I'm telling you now, because I've seen it. I've seen some good fighters out there who's never had the opportunity to even go that far. Right? You understand? They will put them in fight where they will get damaged before they even get there, sir. And they will damage them deliberately.
Yes, man. Yes, man. It's funny, we're kind of diverting, but it's all connected. Yeah, there's a brother called I think it's Dylan White. I don't know if you're familiar. I don't know if you're familiar with Dylan White.
Dylan White,
the boxer.
Was he He was at the front of the reparations this year.
No, I'm not too sure. No.
He got the one who got shot. He got shot in the face.
No. Oh, you're talking about David.
Yeah.
You're talking about David. No, I was surprised to see him there. He's another man that's you see.
That's
all him.
He was a contender. He was a serious contender.
All him. Like when I saw him, I didn't bother to say hello to him. I saw him. I said, Rotted, look at this man. Man got shot in his head. And the man's on. He's at the front of the march as well.
That's right. That's
mad. That's why I say you got fully able, fully bodied men, all functions working, no teeth missing, no grey hair, everything. You know what I mean? Could probably run a marathon and could even walk down there.
Well, look, we can't account for everybody and their thing. All we can do, right, is ensure that the information is out there and it's true. We're moving forward with the movement, right? They will actually see what the movement is doing by our actions, right? And then when it comes to time, say, all right, then that we're going to get something or something's going to happen. They will benefit from it as much as what we will, right? Right? Because look on even our Marcus Garvey now. There was many who followed, many who opposed, but we are 100 years later and we're still standing in the strength and the spirit of Marcus Garvey. You understand?
I'm sorry, that brother was talking about Dylan White, yeah.
The Dylan White, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
He's a boxer, yeah. And I've seen him fight a few times, and he's a very strong man. But he went into the ring with, I think it was a Russian man, or was it a Russian man? No, he went into the ring with Tyson. I think it's called Tyson, and Tyson was cheating against him, yeah. And I can't, because he was doing some illegal punches and stuff, some moves. But besides that, I see him in another fight about a year ago, and he was just like big and chubby, and I said to myself, what? And this is a strong man. You say, no, you're a weak man, you know, he's strong. You could see how you could take thumps, and some man, if you take one of them thumps, they're on the floor. And I see him take the thumps, and I see him like giving the thumps. I said, this is a strong man, and one of his last fights, he come out all chubby and bloated up. I said, what is the camp doing? What
you'll find also, right, that they're not they haven't been given time to get into shape. Right? You understand? They might say, all right, then you've got to fight, you've got 3 months. Right?
True, like my man who got collapsed in the ring. What's his name again? Michael something.
Michael Watson.
They didn't give enough time to recuperate from the
last. That's right.
Fight.
Every 3 months he was fighting.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is,
they set him up for that, man.
Huh? It's a pity because in my opinion, he was one of the all-time best. Well, in my lifetime best.
He didn't have a big structure.
No. He was skilled. The skills that brother had, and his ability.
And a mad heart, crazy heart.
Well, you had to.
Take off the gloves. That's me done. That brother there had the heart to fight to the death.
Yeah.
I mean, impeccable soldier boy. I'll give him that.
I was very privileged. I was working as a security at a club in Barking at the time. And you know, after he had he was in his recovery, right? And then that evening there, they announced that Michael Watson was going to come down for the evening. So it was like an appreciation night, you know. So all the boxers were there and everything, and I was standing out the front, and then this limousine came out, right? And they got the wheelchair out and everything. And then he said, nah, I guess I want to walk in. And I was there to see him for the first time, to walk into a public arena like that, you know? And like everybody was in shock and tears and everything because they weren't expecting him to be walking that, you know? And then ever since then, he whenever he can, he does walk, like, you know? Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a man with a strong heart, boy.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, so a warrior will always be a warrior, no matter what the situation. Yeah,
it's true.
Right, and this is our thing as well. Is that if we don't challenge ourselves and we don't condition ourselves to face these challenges, right? This is why we have to start this process of self healing, right? Knowing yourself, right? Knowing why are you doing this? What is your why of doing and being? Yeah, we got to instill our purpose in our direction. We can't just stand up and let others speak on our behalf without even feeling where we're going. We're just following. We're following with no direction. And we like, let's put it this way. If a brother or sister, right, stands up in front of an audience, a crowd, and speak, we're supposed to be able to emulate that same strength, same intensity of speech as well. Right? We're not there to be taught. We're there to be standing beside. Right? The unification is the equality of strength, knowledge, and action.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Remember a defensive line, right? If you're standing there and you're weaker than the next person, that is where the weakness is going to be.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So let's step up our game now. Let's step up our game. I know that you mentioned those who weren't in presence of yesterday's event, right? But I don't hold nothing against them. You were there. You can stand up and say, this is where I'm at. And I'm not holding it as a what I'm waving it in your face like, boy, you're this and you're that. I was there, and that's important to me. Now let's see our actions now from this day to go on forward. Yeah? That's what we got to do, brother. That's what we got to do.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there. But one last message that everybody that stepped out, big up to yourselves, could have stayed in the yard and watched TV. You know, the management, the organizers, the you know what I mean, Esther who was walking, can also they must have get tired when they come back. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? My foot was thumping, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I should have wear a better pair of trainers, man.
You have to wear some solid base shoes, man, when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's concrete. You have to tread on, you know.
Yeah, for real, man. Right. For real. But you still see when you're young, you can walk on anything, but like, as you get older, your foot become more tender. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a good day. It's a nice day still. Like you know what I mean? I would just like to see other stations, so-called community stations. Yeah. If they call themselves community, you know what I mean? Deal with the community, man, in a proper way, not just like hustle and make money. You have to participate, and when these events come up, you must advertise for free, to not charge. You know what I mean? You know, I just feel that we are great people, man, and we've been through like immense madness. You know what I mean? Immense madness, and to come out still standing, the shows I just proved. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there, yeah?
Yeah, man. Bless up.
Take care, man.
Bless up. Thank you, yeah. Yes, we was there. We were there.
Can you hear me screaming from afar? Somebody help me from this height, don't want to fall. But if I do, would you catch me? Now take the whole thing from beginning. Press rewind and things become revealing. With all the hit fancy lights and glamour, autograph to please you, eager, yeah. You don't know what's up with me. Can't find food to feed my family. My life is like an open book. Turn a page, come take a look. Oh, walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No. Come and walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No. Gotta make a move real fast. Take my life to the future from the past. In my hands, I gotta take it slow. There are things I like to know. I've been mistreated oh so much. Sometimes I don't know how I carry on. You don't know, you never know. Never a sign to show. Come and walk a mile in my shoes, and you would feel what I'm feeling. From where I'm standing, things don't look too good. No. If you walk a mile in my shoe, come walk a mile in my shoe. Not 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, not 5 miles, 6 miles.
To all those who was on the march yesterday.
Pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. In Britain and in USA, in Canada, in JA, so pave the way, Rasta, pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. We all got to play our part in the struggle that is tearing mankind apart. Fight your own little revolutions in your own institutions. Show the people of Mount Zion the one and only ever New Jerusalem, the home and the sanctuary for all of Jaja's children. Jaja's children, come on, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. In Africa and in Italy, in Australia and in Germany, he said he pave the way, Rasta, pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. To preach Jah words, cause he is I and I shepherd. He said our reward will be great.
Lines are open on 0203-289-6504.
It is very hard, but ask for help from the Lord. He will strengthen you again and again. Cause Rasta must win this campaign. Rasta must win this campaign. Come on, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. In Africa and in Italy, in Australia and in Germany, said he pave the way, Rasta, pave the way, pave the way, Rasta, pave the way. Over the world, north and south, up and down, all about. Said he pave the way, Rasta, pave the way.
Yes, pave the way, pave the way. One of my all-time greats, that one. Yeah, man, one of my all-time greats. But I bought it many years ago on vinyl. Wow, many years ago. Yes, the lines are open 0203-289-6504. I tell you, it's like, yeah, it would be nice to have it. It would have been good to have a conversation with the Prime Minister, innit? On the radio, yes, sir. But I'm not gonna invite him into the realms here right now. We don't need them type of disturbances right now. Oh boy, the boy is confused already. The young man is confused already. What am I do? He just trying to do what he can do to just get his peace and get out. Doing what he can do to avoid the bullets himself. So anyway, that's his journey, not mine. Yes, as I said, the lines are open on 0203-289-6504. And the text line is there as well, and the WhatsApp line is there as well on 079-47479-219. If you're one of these Facebook people, we're there as well. GalaxyFOE.net on there, right? We open a new page on there, so you can put your posts on there, have a conversations, and we'll join you periodically on there with some of the presenters. Will interact with some of the presenters as well, events and things like that as well. The usual thing what we go on with Facebook as well, right? Also on the YouTube, we will be on there as well. We're doing a broadcast on there right now. So if you want to view us directly, you can view us on the Galaxy FOE, on the YouTube as well. So we're spreading out. We're spreading out. Okay, so we're getting things in line so that we can come to you more direct and more interactive, because sometimes it's good to see the face that you're chatting to as well, and yeah. So as I said, we're here. All your messages can come through, and we can interact with those directly. Okay. So anyhow, let's get back to the point here, right? Know thyself, starting with your history. The history is extremely important. Extremely important. I know we've played clips on this, but let's take this on a practical terms now. Not only do you have your family, your immediate family, but you have your extended family as well, right? Now, let's make this thing a thing that we can actually work on. Timelines. What a beautiful sight would it be if you walked into a room and you saw images of all of your families there, photographs of all of your families there, right? And you could name every single one of them. You know them personally by their names, right? You can hear their voices by just their image. You know of their characters by the images that you see. You know exactly that if you ask them a question, what possibly they would actually answer, or how they would actually interact with you. This is your strength. You know that you could ask of somebody, or ask of one of them, your family, for help, advice, assistance, yeah? Or even if you just want to be with somebody, to just feel good about yourself, them who can cook and those who can't and those who won't cook. These are all the things that make up the family, These are all the things that make up the family. But we are all there. We are all there as one. We're living as one. That is the strength of who we are. So not only is the family important, but we have to start with the foundation of that. Know where you are. What's your strength? What's your part you're playing in your family? So part of our reparations process, well, this is the first part of it, because every time you hear me on this station, I'm going to give you a little 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this reparation, preparation business. Yeah? That is my purpose of this. I'm decided to say, right, from this moment on, I shall give you 15 to 20 minutes of the reparation preparation. Yeah? Strength of our family is the theme of today. Strength of our family. What is your role in that family? Are you a burden to your family, or are you an asset? An asset meaning that you provide value to your family. Our brother was just speaking of those who are able-bodied, who he knew they weren't in attendance yesterday. He saw those who were not so able-bodied, those who had serious challenges. They were in attendance of yesterday because they knew of their purpose, what was important to them. I'm sure that there were some there who were attending who just came to see what was happening. I'm sure that they were. But we were all there, and I will say to you that it was a nice atmosphere, a very, very good atmosphere, in the sense of that everybody was there and enthusiastic to be there. Yeah, we was called conversing, even though the time that was allotted for our march had passed. For whatever reason I wasn't privy to the ins and outs of what was happening. But the time had passed. And I thought to myself, you know what? Even though that time had passed, it wasn't say that we were just standing around twiddling our thumbs. We was there encouraging each other, words of encouragement. That's what I was receiving anyhow, right? Meeting those silent listeners. Yeah, meeting you silent listeners. It was very encouraging, right? Don't be so silent though. Even if you drop a message to say grand risings, that would be good, right? Wow, there are so many of you, so many of you. I was kind of like surprised, and then again, I'm always like that because anyway, that's me. But it is so beautiful to see all of you there, right? And I'm going to say as well to the team that was supporting the event, excellent clarity and quality of the sound. The event on Windrush was excellent. Yeah, right. So our brothers there in full power and full force. Yeah. But Icon, let me see if I can go through my names now. Icon, Jakayan, Kwame, Sister Noah, Sister Shanice, and a man there, Brother Errol. Who else? Oops! Look at this. I'm letting things go through. I am sorry. I'm letting so many pass. There's all there. Please, could you call back? There was. Who else now? Oh yes, of course. Nana Pakamba Bai, Nana Kweku, Dr. Abu, Brother Gabe, Beautiful. Danny Pink, Sister Junie Muhammad. Wow. Yeah, my sister as well. Jackie Bess. You know. Oh, so many. Listen, there was so many of you. So many of you that was there. Right. And even as I'm speaking right here, a big smile come across my face because I was so happy to see all the honor out there, man. All the honor. You know. And like, you know, and I'm still inspired by so many of us who we know it can be challenging, that it is challenging for many of us. And I greet as many as I can. I greet as many as I can. Genuinely. I love all the honor. I love all the honor. Straight. I love all the honor. Right? All the brothers and the sisters them. Right? And I was so happy to see families, youngs out there. I was so happy to see that you know, they came and they experienced as young people. They may not 100% understand the fullness of what was going on and or the fullness of the impact of what we are doing. But they will see later on down the line. And I'm going to tell you now, I was interacting with a brother that was there. If you can call back, please. If you can call back. If you know, and wait a minute. Let me get this right. Let me get this right now. I was talking with a brother. And he was talking of how his young son at the time wanted to come with him to an event. And what happened was that, I'm trying to be diplomatic around this. What happened was that he saw his father and his friends and associates and those other people of other organizations. They were talking around this thing for a few years now, right? And his son said, I'm not going to school today because I want to come to see if you're going to get a result today. Right? Because he said, after all the talking that you're doing, I want to see. So the brother said, you know what? Come with me. So, you know, he didn't go to school. And they went to go because they were going to get the results of what they had been pursuing for a few years now. And the thing is that it wasn't just a minor thing. This was against the highest courts in London, in England. And obviously, if they got a result, it would be a ripple effect around all the court systems. So basically, it was like a change of law or change of direction in the way how proceedings would go through into the future. And of course, they went there and they were told that if they failed, they would be liable for costs reaching into the hundreds and thousands. They would be all liable for that, right? Because of the length, what the procedures, what they've gone through, and they went through, and they gained a victory. They gained a victory. Imagine that young man there now, realizing that his father, just through a conversation and just through his actions of putting things in place, was able to make a difference. And he witnessed and experienced that. Can you imagine that young man today? And how is he going to take his life and move forward with it? Because he has seen his own father do that. He has experienced the support of others. He has heard the words of those who are eloquently ready to stand up and speak their truth against a system that is being oppressive to them. And they won. Can you imagine that now? And he's there at the age of 10. And I said to the brother, I record that thing. And I told him the position that his son was standing when they took a photo and they put that in the press. And I reminded him of that. I reminded him of the position. And of course, he could relate to it because he was recounting it. And I remember that. So can you imagine who that young man is going to be in his future? In his future. And remember, we are only just part of the journey. We are only one part of the journey. I mentioned earlier on about Marcus. Over 100 years ago now. Over 100 years ago, that man was there, He started on his life journey. Over 100 years ago. And yet, through his tenacity of learning, self-education, and coming with the idea of freedom, speaking into his truth, spreading the word of his truth, encouraging others to live their truth, making a difference that shook the world, making a difference that has been a foundation of many of societies around this world as we live even now.
If you're over 50, don't even think about life insurance until you've heard this. You can
even as we are here listening to me speak, but the words and inspirations are coming through to you. We need to know ourselves. And it's all part of the reparation process. This is all part of the reparation process. Don't think that you are just sitting there and by yourself or standing by yourself because you're the only one in the room. Don't think that. Don't think that at all. There are thousands of us. Thousands of us. Even those who are silent in their actions and their speech. There are thousands of us. But we've got to strengthen that now. We have to make that step forward. So as you bring one, as you bring yourself, you must bring 10. As you bring yourself, you must bring 10. If you need to change the way how you are living and what you're doing right now, change it. Make yourself live with purpose. Make yourself live for something that you actually believe in. How many of us are just doing to go to get along? Because I'm going to tell you now, I was doing exactly the same. I was doing exactly the same. In fact, I was able to take early retirement, right? My life has become more purposeful because what I'm doing, what I feel is the right way of what I should be doing right now. I feel that it's the right way. And the thing is that I'm only at the beginning. I'm only at the beginning. If we take it to another level now, right? Am I going to be speaking to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people at a time? Possibly one day. Possibly one day I'll be on that platform. And I'm going to tell you now, it seems more real today more than it did a month ago. Why? Because there's a clarity, there's a direction of where we are going. Our strength, our vigor is there for all of us. 0203 289 6504. Let me see if there's any messages. So let me see now. Coming out, man. That's from yesterday. Right. So, welcome again. Grand rising to you all on this beautiful morning here on the galaxy of Hawaii. There's a thing I want to share with you, right? Vision. Where did it all start? Who knows of this person here? Leonard Percival Howell.
The founding father of the Rastafari movement. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, my sister. You know, we have had many discussions, Kathy, both of us, about your dad. And I remember when we spoke the last time on air, we talked about, you know, that time when we went in search of your dad, of Leonard Howell, as part of a wider In Search of series, along with the National Heritage Trust, which was then chaired by Professor Vereen Shepherd. And what a search! What an informative! I mean, there's so much that we learned during that process about Leonard Howell. That's quite a while. I think that was 2007. Or 2006, 2007. So much came out there that I felt at the time that such an injustice was done to the memory. And we really must honor our obligations to remember, you know, to the memory of Leonard Howell, that he wasn't even spoken about or acknowledged in the way that he should have been within the Rastafari community at the time. 2007 we are talking about, which is quite interesting. Now we see things have changed a bit. But tell us about your dad. I mean, who was Leonard Howell in terms of him being just a man? Talk to us about his early days.
Okay, first let me say I have to give kudos to you for doing that program, because you have enlightened a lot of people by doing this program in Jamaica that was actually, they were sleeping. So you wake them up. So I know that you will leave a benchmark, you know, on the sands of time, sister. So let me say thank you. And also to Sister Vereen Shepherd, she's listening this morning. Let me say this. I see my father, I would look at Leonard Howell as the man who announced the coming of Haile Selassie. Just like how John the Baptist announced the coming of Jesus. And my father, who was a man that say what he means what he says. He didn't clinch, and he was an intelligent person. I look at him as if he was more like a Messiah. And I shouldn't say this to a lot of Christians, but I'm going to say this right now. As we look back in ancient times, you know, how they nailed Jesus to the cross for teaching about the Almighty God of Israel, the Redeemer of the world. Yet the people continue to clutch to their religious, who suffered so much atrocity for sounding the trumpet of a black king, who was crowned King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, and who opened the eyes of black people when he thought about black history here in Jamaica, most of which were so despondent. Right now, you know, you're talking about being depressed of all the atrocity that happened to them. So, you know, how we'll develop a movement against colonial culture, sister. And
yes,
I can say this, that for this...
But well, talk a little bit, let's talk a little bit about his early life, because where was he born? Which parish?
My father was born in the parish of Clarendon, in an area called Redland. A lot of people get Redland and Red Hills kind of mixed up because they're so close.
Right.
And he was the oldest of, you know, many children that his mother had. And the parents that wanted my father to have a better life encouraged him to migrate to the U.S., which he did in the early 20s. And my father had been a very astute person even at a young age. And, you know, during the process of all the atrocities and discrimination, segregation that was going on with the colonizers, you know, of course, he knew that he had to do something. So I look at him that he was appointed and anointed to do a work that a lot of us would never have done.
And so that he traveled widely and returned to Jamaica, as you said. But it was when he came back to Jamaica that he started talking about the Emperor Haile Selassie, well, about the crowning of the Emperor Haile Selassie, and pointing to the Emperor, as you noted before, as the Messiah returned to earth. But how was he treated for this?
That's a very good question. As you and I know, during colonialism, black people were very much under bondage here in Jamaica back there in the 30s. In the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s. Well, they say they give us independence in the 60s, but all they give you was a national anthem and a flag, because the British people still does not believe that Jamaicans are capable to govern themselves, so they put in place a governor general that still act on the advice of the Queen. So you can imagine what was going on there.
Yes.
And the fact that my father came and started a new paradigm in Jamaica, it was against colonial isms. It was against colonial behavior for, you know, you to come and say,
thank you for listening
you're
to the
teaching
Radio.
your
Hit the
people
subscribe button and keep
about
listening.
their history. And number one, for the fact that my dad established the crowning of His Majesty, who was actually the Rasta movement gave concept with El Selassie, which was the 25th monarch of the Solomonic dynasty. And my dad started preaching that this is where black supremacy came in, because everyone throughout the history of the world, even the king family, they had to come down and bow before El Selassie. So that gives a different vibes to black people to let them know that they were not born to be slaves.
And your dad, Leonard Howell, and we're talking about Leonard Howell today, as you know. Today is Sunday, June 13. Leonard Howell's birthday. It will be June 16. He was born June 16, 1898, right, my sister?
Yes.
And he was actually tried. He was arrested and tried for sedition for talking about the things he was talking about, including pointing to the Messiah returned to earth.
You know, my father was in prison for, oh my God, please, let's not talk about the number of times. You know, that was just one. But my father's been to prison so many times. You can't even count on your
exactly. So he was actually seen as a threat to the colonial structure,
yes, he was.
and thought, yeah.
Yes, he was. But you know, one of the most admiration part of as a child, I just know him as Daddy. And as one says, if you get close to a mirror, you really can't see yourself or see anything. You have to step back. And, you know, later on in years, I really get to really respect and honor this man, not just as my father, but as a hero. And I can recall when my dad told me when they sent him to the jail, one of the times, let's say one of the 20 times or the number of times that he was sent to jail for sedation in St. Thomas, you know, the cross-examination asked him, you know, what did he say? And my father said, I told my followers to think of His Imperial Majesty, Kings of King, Lord of Lord, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah as the Messiah and the Messiah of love. And of course, they thought my dad was what? Crazy. And whatever charges that they had on him, my father continued to say that he was innocent. And the final analysis, when they sent him to prison, he turned around because he did not have the privilege to get a lawyer. He had to be the one that actually, oh my God, he had to be his own lawyer. He had to defend himself against the heart and the mob that wanted to persecute him. And he turned to them, to the jury at the end of the day and says, my father says, I know I'm innocent and I was born a hero. And beyond the shadow of doubt, I will die a hero defending my race.
And you know, there's a lot to be said about Leonard Howell in this regard, you know, because even I know that in recent times we see academia now kind of catching on. They're coming from behind in the study of Leonard Howell, and we see a few books out and so on. But it really has been such a shame that there seems to be, even within academia and the elite and the political ruling class here in Jamaica, that over the many years, this effort to suppress knowledge of Leonard Howell and who he is and who he was. Then I know I want to go to Pinnacle, because he didn't just talk about the Black Messiah, but he also talked about self-sufficiency. This was the foundation of everything that he believed in. Self-sufficiency and independence, fully emancipation of Black people. And so he created this space, a Pinnacle. We're speaking with our sister Kathleen Howell, who is a daughter of Leonard Percival Howell. Leonard Howell was born June 16, 1898. He's also known as a gong, and that might sound familiar to you.
If you want to hear, if you want to pick up on that one there, right? If you go to the, let's see now. I'm going to put it into the Facebook page. I'm going to put it into our Facebook page. Into the Facebook page, the Galaxy Afawi, right? Join us on there, and then you'll be able to get, oops, something's gone wrong here. They said something's gone wrong. Never mind. I'll get it on there. And yeah, I did get it later on. Right at the top of the hour, we shall be having our sister Shanice, and she'll be taking over the broadcasting for today. Very powerful broadcasting, and I look forward to joining you later on this evening. actually, later on this evening, 8 o'clock with the Black Father Support Group show. Right? So have a great day. Have a powerful day. And remember, let's get to know thyself. Let's have a look at our families. Get our family trees up on the wall. Come on now, let's do this. All right, let's take this action here. And let's be as one. Yes? Let's live as one. Right, let me see what I can give to you now. Yes. No, not that one.
Find a new love, find a new lover. Find a new love, find a new lover. Find a new love, find a new lover. But I still
All right, let's see you again soon.
I know you're searching. I'm searching too. And I found something, but it's not with you. Let's be honest. This thing we do is something few people understand. Cause you're my lover but not my man. Let's start over. Found the love that's new. Let's start over. Now we play by my rules. Let's start over. Found the love that's new. Now you're not my only lover, so let's start over. This may hurt you, but I can call him mine. And when I call you, we can't speak after night. My new man loves me enough to call me wife. But still I can't imagine what it would be like without you in my life. So let's start over. I found a love that's new. Let's start over. Now we play by my rules. Let's start over. Found a love that's new. Now you're not my only lover. Let's start over. Guess we can never just be friends. And I'm not saying this is the end. No, I won't forget what we've been through. I've been in love with you all my life. You are your lovers and now your wife. Let's start over. Found the love that's new. Let's start over. Now we play by my rules. Let's start over. You're not my only lover. Let's start over. Let's start over. Found the love